difference, one of the main differences that I noticed in San Francisco that governs a lot of the nightlife is the fact that there is weekend day life. So like
Yes.
people
Yes.
want to
Yeah.
go hiking, so they can't party till 6,
I see what you're
Okay.
saying.
Okay.
right? Uh, and I think because there's the day life in
Active
San Fran,
schedules. Yeah.
right? Because there's that active schedule, because you're not only doing nightlife, there's a lot less cocaine.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's effective.
Makes a lot
Good
of
to
sense.
know.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
kind
that checks
of.
out.
Yeah.
Wait, Governor,
Know that I'm coming correct.
let me talk to you guys about something that they can do both drunk and high that is extremely pleasant.
I think our podcast needs a budget for guns.
Cowboy. Rowdy. Well, shoot, dang. Crack a cold one, baby. What is it with this fucking podcast?
3. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and baby girls, welcome to another exciting episode of the Cowboy Rowdy Podcast. It's me, your host, Cam Berry, and also joining us, we have Monterey Bay comic and show producer, Michael Booth.
What's up?
Thank you for joining us, sir. Also here, sound engineer and Underground Railroad operator for Eastern Europeans, Sebastian McCabe.
That's me. I'm coming in on. Yeah, I'm gonna get you out of here. All aboard.
Yeah, and special guest joining the show for the first time. We're very excited for this. We have Jason King. This is a San Francisco-based comedian and all-around king of Instagram.
So thank you. Thanks for having me.
And is it Jason_Rex?
Jason_Rex, yes.
Okay, check him out on IG. Great stuff. And check him out on comedy on shows. You got someone coming up in Alameda Comedy. I saw a couple on your IG. You got some stuff coming up. So go there and
Got
check out his
stuff coming
shows.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't know
where
what it'll
you
be
can
at the time of the release, but that's where you go to find it. Thanks for being on the show, man. Thanks for being on the show. So happy to have you here.
No, thanks for having me, dude.
Can I get some background really quick just for how we met for the show listeners, and then we'll go into a little bit about you? Okay,
Yeah.
So, Zoom show that was like right when pandemic was first starting, and I was like, Zoom, do I want to try it? There was a Zoom show that a couple comedians from San Francisco were talking about being good, and it was cool because I was going to potentially meet New York comics on there. It's supposed to be New York and San Francisco. Go there, meet a bunch of awesome comedians, have a great time, and Jesus Christ, it was super fun hanging out with you. Went back a couple times, loved it every time, and reached out, asked if you want to be on the podcast. You said yes. Why would you say yes? You actually have clout. This is downstepping. You messed up, baby girl. Like, first off, career advice: don't do shit like this. This is gonna bust you.
You know the thing you just said, the way you introduced it, you were like, I got on the show, met San Francisco people, New York people, and Jesus Christ. I was like, you met Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was like,
Two times, and I was like, Jesus Christ shouldn't be able to be at the same Zoom show twice. There's a lot of people need to heal him.
And he was just on his phone the whole time. He wasn't even paying.
He's poor audience participation.
Jesus, do you really think he's gonna be amused by stand-up comedy?
He's seen it all.
Yeah.
He tipped me a fish and a loaf of bread. I was like, ugh. I guess I'm
Get an
pescatarian
iPhone
for a week.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, let's not rag on Jesus, though. He's pretty cool, too. I wanted to run a couple things by you, but before I did this, I wanted to get some perspective, because I always mix this up. When I hear
Okay.
one thing, I jump to a conclusion. Did you spend a lot of time in New York, or did you spend a little time in New York? How would you rate?
Like doing comedy or life?
In general. Let's start with general.
Dude, I mean, I grew up in New York. I'm from Queens. I went to college in New York. I worked in New York. So I
Born
was
and
in New York
raised.
until I was, born and raised from 22 years.
Okay, so
Wow.
this is perfect. 22, that's perfect. 'cause
24 years in New York, actually.
So
Sorry.
you got some nightlife before you bounced over to San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is perfect. This is perfect.
You got to see a real city.
Yeah, this is absolutely perfect. It could not have been better. I did not know that, but that could not have worked out better. I made a list of questions, okay? And I had questions about what would you prefer or what would you rather have or would you rather avoid, New York or San Francisco for X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
Michael, you're seeing the list. Does anything here stand out to you that you think is especially interesting?
I mean, the third question to me.
That was the hitter to me. The whole bit was around that question, I'll be honest. We should not jump with that one.
And the second to last one.
Well, don't surprise
I'm
him. Just ask him
curious
one. Just
about
ask him. He can't see the
those.
list. Just ask him. Just ask him. He
The
can't see the
other
list.
stuff I feel like I kind of already.
Okay, let me ask you.
No.
Late night entertainment. Late night
Culture stuff.
entertainment.
Okay.
You've been over 21 in both places. You're going out for a night with your friends. late night drinking and stuff like that? Which is more exotic or more fun or more exciting to you, San Francisco or New York?
Oh man.
Are you that type even? Is that something that appeals to you?
Oh, I mean, I don't drink, but I like to club a lot.
Okay. So specifically for clubbing, then let's narrow it down to that. Were you into that back in New York, or was that a San Francisco thing that came up?
I did it in both. Oh man.
Okay.
I think New York. I'm gonna go with New York.
Ooh,
New York? Wow. Okay.
Losing lots of
I'm gonna go-
friends.
I'm gonna go with,
Well,
do I have to give a reason?
No more free Molly on hate.
What makes it better than the other?
See,
Like,
it's not an easy decision because I feel like New York has a lot of ups and downs, right? So like in a single world, right, the ratio of women in New York is higher, right? I think
I didn't know that. I've never heard that before.
It is. It's like there are a lot of men in San Francisco because of like engineering and stuff. You know,
That's not why, but yeah, okay.
That's true.
They live. It's the only city that still imports men. So no, that's not it.
Yeah, they need them.
It's the engineering.
Well, they had
Yeah.
a shortage.
They don't got bridges in
Bring it
Kansas,
back.
okay? The men are going to San Francisco. Okay, I didn't think about that, but now that you mention it, that's a good point. I had never.
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sound logic.
I think the other thing is like New York music is very different from San Francisco music. Like San Francisco has like the slaps, so like I'm used to the music. There are more women, that. But I think that New York has a lot of lows, right? It's just like the lines are long as shit, and if you want to get into an exclusive club with like all the pretty people, it's going to cost you like coming in with like 2 or 3 women and $100, right?
Jeez, Louise. Okay.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Whereas I feel like San Francisco is a much more consistent experience. You're not going to wait in line that long.
You just need heroin.
Right. Pretty
It
much.
helps. It helps.
That's cool. That's cool though.
interesting.
So that is interesting to hear. I was never
What
really
kinda-
much into the club scene except in Modesto,
What's-
California, and it wasn't very thriving.
Modesto. You call that a club?
We did a
What's
rave
the,
twice a year. It was
It's a
hobby
weird
rock.
house.
What's the music difference from New York to San Francisco?
San Francisco, like, they play a lot of slaps. Like, I think that's what people call them, the slaps. So there's like a lot of,
Like
You
the
know.
hits?
I
was
don't
stuck on
know.
dubstep.
I don't know what the hits are.
Okay. Yeah.
Just like bangers, you know?
I'm just trying to-
slaps,
I-
I get
yeah.
you.
Do you
I think
get
there's
more
like a-
brass in New
there's-
York, or how's it different?
So like house music?
I-
or?
No, I just think that they play more Bay Area artists here.
Yeah, they do favor
definitely,
Bay Area artists
definitely.
big time. There's not like a local blend
Okay.
kind of thing. I can see
Right.
that. Like Too Short has been crushing it for 40 years. He's been on the hottest streak ever. Like he's been
Right,
getting
like,
where
I
he's been
just-
fitting in since the dawn of time, and it's been
I-
Rush City.
I've never heard of Too Short, and I've never heard of Mac Dre before moving here.
Oh well, Mac
Yeah.
Dre, that's a crying shame.
That's
Too
interesting.
Short.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie.
us here, everybody here listens to the
I would
same,
say-
like, 6 artists just over and over and over again.
I would
They're
say
all
the
people
same-
from the same zip code.
I would say the same as for me. I didn't know about those guys either until I moved. I'm from Washington, so I moved here a couple years ago, and
Mhm.
yeah, same. Like the kind of the hip hop, like local, like Bay Area music.
When you-
It's
When you grow up here, you take the grades for
when you're
granted.
not from here, you don't really like. It's like played a lot more than.
Dude, I was building
I don't
Too
know
Short
any
when I was
musicians from
17.
Washington.
Ugh, love it. Could not get enough. Well, you all missing out that you didn't have Too Short in your life for so long. You got to blow that whistle. Let me ask you, which of these... Oh, Seb's gone. It's okay. We're going to go
Oh,
without
no,
him.
I'm here. I'm still
Ooh,
here. You still hear
Which
me?
city would you rather have to be in if you have to publicly defecate?
Dude, I almost shat on the sidewalk yesterday, so definitely, definitely San Francisco.
Tell us that story. Walk us through that. Yeah.
I've been apartment shopping,
Okay.
and I was in the Uber just fucking panicking. I don't know.
And the city still has traffic. The city still has traffic.
Nature calls. Nature calls.
So like the timing was off. Like you
The
just
timing
you were
was
like,
so bad. I was panicking in the Uber, and I feel like you have to take a shit and you do all kinds of dumb things. Like you try to like change your position,
yeah.
hold your stomach in certain
Yep.
ways.
Trying to manually mold it
Dude,
into a
like-
smaller ball.
Yeah.
cross your like ankles and like squeeze your feet together. You're just like, oh. You're just like,
At one point, I rolled down the window and I just tried swallowing air. I was like,
maybe I'll be able to fart and like face down there. Let the air
Oh my
flow
god.
go. That's so
Oh
funny.
my gosh. Yeah. Well, I'm glad
Did you
I
make
that
it
turned
though?
out.
Like,
Yeah.
like how did you actually show on the sidewalk? Did you make it
so,
to?
so I get to the apartment, right? And the guy is like, "Oh, I'm not there. I'm going to buzz you in." I'm like, "Fantastic." So I just took a shit in this dude's house.
Oh,
No interest in the
Hell
apartment,
yeah.
but great
That's the best
toilet.
way to find out if you're interested, though. Honestly,
Yeah.
you can't bring your bed in, but you can take the same shit you're gonna take
You
when
should
you live
just
there.
you should just
You
time
can-
your apartment shopping to your like shitting. So you every
That's
place
actually-
you go, you're just dropping a deuce in it.
That's the new public
It's the most
urinal.
important room in
It's
the
just
house.
making apartment shopping reservations. A couple
Make
hours
it a-
after
yeah.
a meal.
I haven't shut my house in 2 weeks.
That'd be a
Saved a
great
decade
like,
off my plumbing.
that'd be a great like YouTube video if you could clip together all those.
Oh
times.
my gosh,
That would
dude.
be so great.
That's a lot. We
Oh,
didn't even
just
expect to give a
like,
life hack right now.
Come on,
Like
Thomas,
just
you
like
shitting.
a, it's like a move along music video, except it's just my
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't have to.
It's
go
once in a
outside.
decade when those calls go
Sucks.
bad, but man, when they do, it's life changing. So okay, I look at, because I'm in California all my life. San Francisco to me is like where you can get really specialized shopping, like crazy shopping to a new degree. New York, how would you compare shopping wise?
That's, I mean, there's so many things that you could shop for, right? So like, am I shopping for clothes?
We're all
Am I
similar
shopping-
demographics. Let's go clothes first. Let's just go clothes first. Take the
Clothes, definitely New York.
Really?
Yep.
Just like that, bang, instantly.
Mhm.
Easy. Yeah. There's just so
Wow.
much variety.
Suck
I mean,
a
there's so much
dick, San
variety,
Francisco.
and like, I think pricing isn't controlled really by the store, but more by the brand.
Mm.
So I'd rather have more brands.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. So, dude, you're setting my expectations for our next New York trip on like what things I should be appreciating the most. This is kind of dope. First off, I'm taking a shit on every piece of sidewalk I can find, just ripping it hard while I'm there. I gotta get that local
Bring some
blood
of
in
that
me.
San Francisco back there.
So, I don't know.
So I'm curious about this. I guess this isn't
Yeah.
on the list, but this is just a
No,
question
go.
I have for you. You say you did do comedy in New York, right? A little
I
bit.
didn't start in New York. I started in San Fran, but I have gone back to do it. Yeah.
You've gone back to do it. Okay, I was just curious about crowds, like what you have, like your like I guess, like differences or anything that you've noticed. Is there any like performing in New York, performing in San Francisco? Like, is there like a different feel or like? I was just curious about that. I guess.
I feel like there are two main differences. One, I feel like New Yorkers appreciate the more aggressive stuff. And I actually really appreciate being able to work in San Fran and New York because like you try the aggressive stuff here and then people are like, oh, like I'm not about it. And then you try like the baby stuff here and you bring it to New York and they're like, well, fuck that.
They don't want you to play it safe.
Yeah, no playing it safe. The other thing is,
Okay.
I feel like the New York crowds are faster. So like they're like, so like I have this one joke where I'm like, fuck, I better not get this fucking joke wrong.
but you
But
know, I don't want to put any pressure on you. You can just reference the joke. I'm not going to put you on the spot like that.
but basically the idea is like when it comes to like celebrities getting canceled, the people I feel the worst for are the impersonators. Because like whatever, like you've been impersonating Michael Jackson your whole life, and you're like, now I have to suck a kid's dick. Like I wasn't expecting I need to go do that. And the thing is, like, Kills in San Francisco, I go to New York, and then they're like, oh yeah, we knew where you were going before the joke was even over, and then you're like, fuck, like.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got you. So they're not looking for no meat or pat on the bum. They're looking for just that, basically. This is our first episode with soundboard, by the way. So that was
that's
awesome.
It's been a lot of time to get that working.
That was a surprise for me too. I thought something was happening. I was like, oh god, like is my computer like am I playing a video? Is there an ad popping
Yeah.
up?
I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it.
Real
I
New
love
York
it, though.
comedy right there is that bit. It's the only thing that they think is funny.
This is the
Right.
last question I got comparing the two, and then I'll jump off this subject completely because I know you're probably bored
Alright.
to death with it. Which city is it easier to avoid picking up a drug habit in?
Is it easier to? Ooh, man.
You're like, avoid?
Drugs.
Easier to avoid.
which city has drugs more prevalent, would you say, overall?
I'm gonna say San Francisco. It's easier to
Okay,
avoid.
okay. That was going to be my
Like-
guess. Not having even been to New York, that was going to be my guess. Because that stands out in San Francisco. Straight up.
Because I think the difference, one of the main differences that I noticed in San Francisco that governs a lot of the nightlife is the fact that there is weekend day life. So like
Yes.
people want to
yeah.
go hiking, so they can't party till 6,
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
right? And I think because there's the day life in
Active
San Fran,
schedules. Yeah.
because there's that active schedule, because you're not only doing nightlife, there's a lot less cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's effective.
Makes a lot
Good
of
to
sense.
know.
Okay.
Trying
That checks
to.
out.
Yeah.
So,
Don't if you want to keep off the cocaine, just don't skip brunch so much. You'll be fine. I love it. That's a good
Yeah, there's
one.
something about that morning walk on the beach. It's just like it's Like I couldn't imagine like staying up that late and then getting up and trying to go out and it's
I
like there's not like nice spots like that over there. I bet like I don't know if there's any like nice beach spots over there like there is here really.
I'm starting to see more of them now that like I have like friends from California that have moved to New York and they're like actively trying to find them, whereas like my
The
high school
locals.
friends weren't trying to find them.
Where's the nature? Where is it?
Yeah, but apparently it's there.
Yeah.
it's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Highly pollutant.
The other thing I would imagine, is when you go for like an early morning walk on the beach, I feel like you don't want to do coke before.
No.
It
That
gets
walk
your
on the
mood. Yeah,
I
that's
can't
all
identify
wrong.
Maybe
with anything you
there's-
guys are saying because I've been on some crazy benders where like it was 2 a.m. and the bar was shutting down. And everybody's like, "Should we go rock climbing?" And it was like, "Yep." And we went rock climbing. And we were daytime rock climbing and we were nighttime coke banging, and it was fun. And you climb
And only
fast.
4 of you made it back the next day.
Yeah, like it gives you like spina bifida as soon as you come down. But Jesus Christ, it was fun. We climbed fast. But no, I never ran.
What is spina bifida?
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Spina bifida is something,
Or
but
something.
it's not what you get from it's not what you get from cocaine. It's not what you get from cocaine. I don't want to misassociate. Some people are seriously dealing with spina bifida. Largely, they're older. I hear. I don't want to negate their pain. But it's funny to throw in all the time. I say it all the time. It's terrible. I say that with diabetes sometimes. I'll say like diabetes is a funny reference because it fits in funny sometimes. But then someone with diabetes, which is like 1 in 5 people, is like, hey, it's not so funny, man. Like he says it. I'm like, hey, I'll put down that French fry. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't say that to someone with diabetes. But yeah, it's been rough. Anyways,
Diabetes is
I wanted to
pointed
get off.
that
you'd
on
say put-
Cameron's tombstone.
I told you there was gonna be some references that were not kosher for careers and stuff like that. That was some of them.
You wouldn't say put down the French fry. You'd say like put down the Hershey's. It's definitely
Yeah, French fries is not that much sugar.
He
in
had
it.
dipped the French fry in a chocolate fondue, so I would have told him to put the French fry down. Too. Yeah.
Oh,
We don't go to the same
kind of good
Wendy's.
though, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll say this. Let's revert over to comedy a little bit.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a little bit personally about what comedy since like quarantine has been like for you? If that's not gonna get you in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's been good for writing, at least earlier on. When I was
That first productive month of quarantine where everybody was going ham.
So I switched homes, right? So I was in an apartment. I canceled my lease because I was paying way too much, and then I moved here, and yeah.
During quarantine, was that hard?
Moving?
Yeah.
No, I mean, also all my stuff's in storage. I just have
Okay.
like a couple things here.
You didn't really
Uh,
move. You just like switched where you
right.
sit. Okay.
Switch where I sit, yeah. So when I was alone, it was easy. I was writing like 2 hours a day. I think I wrote like an
Yeah.
hour, 45 minutes of new
Love it.
B-level stuff. You know?
Yeah, the real choice material.
Yeah.
Well, that's dope. That's how I felt like originally on. I was like, I'm just gonna be so productive if I can't perform all right. And I went ham. I wrote like a bunch, and it was all really funny pandemic related stuff and quarantine related stuff. And then as soon as I started doing shows, I realized no one wants to fucking talk about quarantine the whole time. Like the first or second or third show, and it eventually gets toward like there's other topics, man. There's other topics. Like it can't all be about this. So I took a break from writing, and then since then it's been kind of like woo woo woo. But you've been actually getting to be able to do actually performing too, though. That's been going somewhat good for you, right?
Yeah, so there've been some Zoom shows, there've been some in-person outside shows. So that's kind of
Nice.
been nice, you know.
Those are
Cool.
such a
Yeah,
like a reprieve in a storm. Honestly, those outdoor
Yeah, I
shows.
mean, I was actually last night in Santa Cruz. I did the drive-in show there. And that
Shout
was-
out to Sam O'Brien and
Yeah, that's
Natalie.
really fun.
Is that the one where
Natasha.
they're outside the cars, comedians in cars?
yeah, yeah,
Is that in Santa Cruz?
Yeah,
yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
It's
it's
down there.
really fun, man. Like,
It's fun as heck.
there was a good turnout last night, and everybody's like, listening and can hear you in their cars. So it was cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. How loud are the speakers for
It's
people
pretty
to
good.
hear?
So some people actually do kind of crank it in their car for like the people around them, if there's like, because
Their
some of the
car group
comics
kinda.
some people stand outside of their car for a little bit, just to like stretch their legs, and so they'll So, like-
Stretch their legs.
So
Yeah.
it gets transmitted through a radio.
Yep.
yeah, it's FM
Radio
transmitter.
transmitter.
Oh,
It's kinda
wow.
cool. Yeah, I
That's
was
such a
actually
good fucking
after,
It's like
idea.
a drive-in. Yeah.
after I did my set, I was sitting in my car for a little bit, listening to the next couple of comics that went up, and it's kind of cool because you're just like,
You can write down
Fill
the
in your
material and
car.
they can't see it.
but you're just kind of sitting in your car. You can bring stuff with you, like snacks or whatever. I had some stuff with me to
That's
like
pretty
kinda
fucking
just,
cool.
hang out, with. And
It's pretty dope, honestly, as far as having like your own snack selection and stuff like that. And it's less awkward sometimes. Like if you're at a show, and this only happens sometimes, but if you're at a show and somebody's sucking like a huge old dong, like some people do, and you're like right up close, and you have to like give them your face. Like you have to give them your face. It's awkward for them, and you have to be there witnessing
Yeah,
that.
so
and
it's
be like,
on stage,
like-
just like
like you're trying to
doing
like laugh along,
terrible.
like in the car thing, none of that. None of that. You
Well, and
just turn your
also,
lights
I
on,
would
let
say-
it rip.
Wait. You said the audience is like sucking each other's dongs? What?
No. If someone's doing bad
I
on
think
stage,
what Cameron's
it's
trying
less
to
awkward.
say.
It's less awkward.
Yeah, I think Cameron's trying to say is somebody's bombing on stage. You in a room, you normally have to sit there
Sucking
and
dong.
watch
There's that
them bomb.
space, that donkey
Yeah.
dong.
Sorry,
sucking
he
space.
said, yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird.
I
It's a
was
metaphor
so
we say in
confused.
Modesto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
I
think
thought
you
you-
meant-
I
didn't
thought
think
you guys
were
were
paraphrasing.
performing
Oh,
and you were
yeah.
looking into the cars and people were sucking each other off.
That too, though. That too. I'm glad you brought it up.
That's-
That's
now
my
you're in the
favorite
car,
part
you
of the
have
show.
So much
Yeah,
more
I
privacy.
thought he said that too at first. I was like, this is
Yeah.
gotta
No, when
clarify.
people do that, that's like reverse heckling. I love that. That brings up the quality
Is
of the
that-
material.
Is that
Oh.
good? Does that make you feel good about your set or bad?
Yeah. Yeah. You can't go down on some of the bad comedy.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
I would say
I'm getting all these people horny, dude. I'm funny as
I would
shit.
say-
These people are all horned up.
I
yeah.
would say
Comedy's
I would
aphrodisiac.
say it would make me feel good if the guy was laughing too.
It's like we're both coming.
Hey, honey, you hear that one? You hear that one? That was fucking funny, wasn't it?
Wow, you using your hand, dude? That's a little aggressive, man. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's
That's
so
not.
silly.
We don't have to be introspective about everything. We can just back up a little
No,
bit.
don't.
Some stuff. Let's do this. We got a little bit of time left. Let's do one of our recurring skits. We got something to do on the show. It's
We
kind of
earned
like a
that
prompt
one.
gig, and
Okay.
we earned it. So it's something we do. We come up with a 30-second pitch for something, And
Okay.
this is usually done at the behest of our good friend who's missing today, Anthony Barrera. Shout out to the homie. But this one today we got is for New Religion. And so this is going to be an opportunity to basically take life by the horns. And instead of just waiting for another L. Ron Hubble to come around or whoever does the next one,
Hubble?
like yeah, whoever the guy was, you know the guy. The guy has the boats and the songs and they do the stuff with the science. Anyways, we should come up with our own idea. So what do you think are going to be some good fundamentals of the next big religion that's going to start out however, but become like an established religion? Anybody got any good ideas? Anybody got anything off the head that flows?
No one
I think-
close. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think if you're gonna have a new religion, you gotta have, you gotta have like a guy, right? Like your main guy, your Jesus or your Muhammad or whoever. And
Yeah.
I think that the number one ingredient for a successful religion is you gotta have like a guy with a beard, a wise old guy with a beard in there. I feel like that's pretty important. So we
Okay.
gotta have a bearded.
Beard guy.
I-
So you're leaning really hard on the beard thing. That's gonna be a big
Yeah.
part of your shtick.
I
Are
think
you
it's
describing?
important.
Are you describing your religion, or are you just saying what we should do with? I'm confused.
My religion would have a guy with a beard.
What's his name? What's your religion? It's a 30-second pitch. You got to pitch us your religion. This is very vague. I'm not.
That's smart, honestly. Keep it
Oh,
vague.
yeah, I
you don't want to
forgot-
tie
I
yourself
forgot-
down.
You should have a beard, right? Yeah, you should have a beard. Like.
That's it. That's my 30 seconds.
If you're going hard on
Not more
beard,
than
it's
that.
got to be a really fucking amazing beard. Like,
Bearded
you're gonna need
guy.
a real
It's-
good one.
It's a-
Could you
it's a-
imagine one of those guys?
white shit.
I'm stoked on this religion and what it stands for and all. It's sick, dude. I'm gonna fucking sign up to go like
All right,
sit
cool.
and look at a bearded guy.
Honestly, mine's easy. Mine's much easier than that because mine's built about commoditizing the world as quickly as possible.
Oh
I think the way to do that is literally sell blessed sand. So I'm gonna start a religion that says like sand is God and like certain parts of sand
like
are actual
Dune.
God, but the sand you find isn't actually God. Like we have to find the real right God sand, and we'll send people sand for money. And so we'll just convince people just to give us all their money for little pieces of sand that they'll hoard, and that's gonna cost us next to nothing. And that's a good way. And then if you ever run out of sand, you just go somewhere else and get that sand. And so yeah, sell cheap sand, bless it, call it the super. Use his beard guy, bearded sand. That's the name of my cult, the bearded sand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the guy with the clean shaven face who came out and he was like, "Guys, I have this idea, the golden rule," and then they were like, "Oh, your face,
Yeah, what?
your
Look
face
at
is
you.
empty."
They persecute him
wise.
instantly across the bear. Yeah.
Uh,
You were very critical, Mike. What's your super awesome new religion
who wants to
pitch?
go next? I want to say.
Let's go next.
No, seriously, there's still like Jason wants to go.
We
and
don't
I have
even
to
we
go.
don't even force the guest to go every time. So
I was
I
gonna
get
ask if he wants to go before me or not. I was trying to be trying to be nice. Jeez.
I guess
time.
I guess when I think about religion, I feel like religions are founded around things that people can't control, so they build a god around them,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
like certain cultures have rain gods. Most of today's cultures kind of really revolve around like what happens at death
Mhm.
and have to like, control for what happens after that. I think if I had to think of what the next big religion would be, I think it might be around climate change.
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds
yeah.
fun.
All right.
I'm
There's
actually
like
down
not
for that.
much we can, control. It's very important. So maybe there's like a carbon god,
Yeah,
Like
churches
Captain
outdoors.
Planet?
That's gonna be dope. Picnic church. Jesus Christ, we win
Just
already.
We just start worshiping Captain Planet.
Dude, I'm down with Climate God. Like, I'm so down with Climate God. That's dope. That's pretty sick, actually.
I feel
Parties
like Captain
outdoors.
Planet is the climate god. He already kind of looks like he's like blue and he's got the,
His whole outfit is made out of
It's
plastic.
like
This dude is not friendly for the environment, okay?
he's reusing it. What are you talking about?
Have you seen how much
He's recycling
hairspray
plastic.
he uses? It's like...
He's
the whole
recycling
thing.
the plastic,
No.
man.
Captain Planet is like the Trump, dude. He's like all talk, no
Whatever,
show.
dude.
You can't put him on that category. All right, so that was pretty good. The good news is none of us had any bright ideas specifically, except for Jason, which was
I-
very in depth, and I'm worried about.
I still
But
haven't.
everything else was pretty lighthearted. Don't worry.
Still haven't,
Listen, if
gone.
I grow a beard, it's over.
yeah. Get this man a beard, and it's done. That was actually
So,
more far out.
So yeah, I was gonna say my religion. If Jason's done, is Did you have any more to add?
Was it done? He had the most complex and thought out one of them. Are you sure you
I do think though that legitimately like climate change and stuff as like imagine you're living in you've never even heard the phrase climate change before. You live in like the jungles of wherever, and then one day you go out there and the ocean is just like 6 inches taller. Like, how are you gonna explain that? You're gonna come up with some shit. So
For
I
real.
think you're probably actually right, which doesn't always happen on this show.
I had something kind of similar. I was thinking more along the lines of like kind of reviving the religion of older civilizations and like worshiping the sun. And kind of like similar to like climate, like I guess so like with the Earth, I was kind of going that same vein. I was thinking like, the sun and like the weather and stuff, and kind of just like being grateful for when it's nice, and just trying to like get back to nature, dude.
Cool
That's
deal.
the religion.
Worshiping the ice.
Yeah.
Worshiping the ice caps.
I want to pull Anthony and undo mine and say I want Logan Run religion, where you die after 50. Or well, it's
And, like,
25.
yeah,
Shit, I'm dead. Never mind.
And try to like start like community like gardens and stuff like that. I guess like I'd want more like community based stuff in the religion around nature, and like trying to like reuse like the earth and stuff. I think that would be good for a lot of people.
Good deal, man. I'm glad you got that in there.
That's where I was going. That's what I was thinking about, dude. I was thinking about like because the community.
This makes me worry. You actually are trying to start a new religion. This is supposed to be lighthearted, bud.
Well, I was thinking like religion. If you think about the communities that are in religion, it's all kind of like come be like us, but
it's a community
kind of
for a lot
just-
of people. The church.
it's
is
like more of a.
community.
It seems like a status thing more to me. Like from the outside looking in, it seems like we're just a part of this thing, as opposed to like actually. I don't really know because I'm not like a religious person, but
Mhm.
it doesn't really seem like there's like a true like. There might be in some churches and communities, but it seems more status than like actual like relationships and like.
You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. Like
I
most-
don't know though. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I
Yeah,
have no idea.
I come from that background. Like, there's a lot of communities that like their whole entire community is revolved around that. Like that's their life. It's a big part of it too. You'd be surprised. But yeah, that's some good. You guys got some good thoughts. And actually, the thing about climate change, and Seb's point too, about that naturally it's going to just force people into making up some sort of religion, even if we might not hear them call it climate change religion. They'll be like worshiping the god who raises the sea level or takes away the forest or whatever. Same deal.
That fucking that polar ice cap was way bigger yesterday, man. I don't know. Something's going on here.
Is ice gonna get more expensive? Nah, never mind. We'll talk about that next episode. So I just want to say, man.
I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Freon's not like completely like unlimited, right? I don't know. Anyways, we're not gonna tackle that. Yeah.
It's banned in the state of California.
Yeah, I can't even afford a new chair, so I just draped like a rug from Bali over it to make it look better. I'm not gonna fix climate change, so I'm just gonna move on from that one.
Yeah, do you think there'd be a time where gas stations and stuff just don't have like those bags of ice, like those coolers with ice in it anymore? Because there's just like shortage of like water to make ice or something. Like
There's other ways to make ice. There's some old
I'm
fashioned
thinking
ways
of
to
like
make
some
ice.
apocalyptic shit where you.
If there's a
can't do ice.
shortage of water, I'm not leaving my house to go to a gas station because I'm gonna get killed by bandits.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
If it's that bad, dude, I ain't going out there.
If water's the issue, you're not worried about your ice for your margaritas.
Yeah, I'm not going.
You've got
That's
other
what I'm saying.
ways.
Like but there has to be a point along the timeline.
Why are we
where-
trying to figure this out now?
I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Fucking like, there's a point just when there's no more ice. Like they just say can't do ice anymore. Like water's too valuable just to have. I don't know. That's what we were talking about. I was just there's got to be a point in the timeline.
I spent like 3 weeks in the Philippines, and I don't think I got one drink with ice the whole time. So I've lived this life you're talking about, and I'm not with it. I came right back. So that's where I'm at with that.
Ice baby.
So we gotta wrap up here. Let me just start by saying thank you, Jason, for being on here, taking some time out of your
Yeah.
day. I know Saturday's busy for you. I haven't gotten to see any of your shows, like especially at the Alameda Comedy Club. I haven't been there yet. Hopefully, I can check one out soon. It'd be cool to see you again, see you in person, and see the comedy again, even if it is outdoor or whatever's legal at the time. I'm super down with it. Thanks for coming on. Thoughtful as always well thought out, well planned, well put together. Good to see you. Glad you're doing well.
Yeah. Thanks for your some of your answers to those questions earlier were cool.
No,
And
this is
I've
great.
Never been to the East Coast, so it was cool to learn about some of that stuff. And
Gotta go to the East Coast. Not now, but
Yeah. I was supposed to go like 6 months before all the breakdown and all that shit happened, and I had to cancel because just work got busy, and I had to cancel my plans even after I already paid for everything. And I was like crushed. I had plans to stand up and everything, and then all that shit happened. So I'm definitely going now. I got a makeup trip in mind, and I'm like just thinking about it all the time. I might go with the virus, honestly. I'm just gonna get like 3 different vaccines and then take my chances.
honestly, I think if you go in like the late spring, I
Mhm.
mean they're handling coronavirus so well in New York.
They're taking it more serious than almost anywhere else in the
yeah,
world.
I was
That's
just
fair.
there for the holidays. The gyms are open.
What?
Nice.
Pretty insane. Yeah, the gyms
Dang.
are open. There was no holiday bump.
Huh.
They handled
That's-
it. They
that's
locked
interesting.
down.
Interesting.
People from New York don't like their families. Do you guys got any takeaways?
I guess I had fun today on this episode. It was nice talking to Jason. I haven't met before. It's the first time we've talked, so it was nice to meet today and have you on the podcast. That was fun. I think I guess when we talked to New Religion, I think I thought too much about it. Apparently, sorry that I was the question. I should have went simpler. I should have said something like, "Oh yeah, bearded man." Should have been my.
Something monumentally
I went
great.
too far into it, so sorry about that.
Hey, this is how we
yeah,
find out the
I don't
best new
know.
religions. Come on.
This is episode 99, so next.
Oh, I wasn't
episode
gonna
will
mention
be-
that, you son of a bitch. Yeah, Jason, the next one's super special. There's gonna be like 3 guests. We're gonna do this big old thing. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh, why
I'm
would
sorry.
you? I wasn't gonna say all of that.
It's episode 100. It was a
That's what
given.
those-
I was just gonna say
I
next
know
episode.
it was just timing.
100.
It was just not on purpose.
Oh
It was just
wow.
timing.
Okay.
God,
Sorry,
Jesus
sorry I
Christ.
brought it up. I was just
Good
gonna
takeaway.
say episode 100. So see
Okay,
ya.
well, Michael's takeaway is taken away from the show. All right, what would be your honest assessment? What's your takeaway from coming on the Cavalry podcast for the first time?
Oh, me?
Yeah. What you got?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess it's my. I just ended 99.
This is our first time having a sound guy. That's why it sounds like shit.
Yeah, it was fun. This was fun. It's nice to be in a room with other funny people talking about funny
Religion.
things, funny ridiculous things. Yeah.
Awesome,
Good
man.
time.
Well, that's it. That's a wrap for
Always
us.
a good
Thanks for
time.
joining, man.
And one more thing.
You waited until now, you son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
Mucho, take it
All
easy.
right. Peace out.
Stay hydrated.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the episode. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at Cowboy Rowdy Podcast, also on Facebook and YouTube at The Cowboy Rowdy Podcast.
Check me out on Facebook and Instagram at KMBZ.berry and see me on YouTube at CB Comedy. I'm just below the little Indian kid who makes funny videos in his room.
You can follow me at The Ghost of Anthony on Instagram and at Young Bathman on Twitter.
And follow me, Sebastian, on Instagram at Seinfeld.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at _mbooth.